Okay.
All right, and we're live.
Good, good, good. Can everyone in the chat hear us? Let me mute myself. And here we go. So welcome, guys, to the Trident pre-release stream. We got some interesting things going on today. We got guests TFox83, who is the lead pack developer for FTB, as well as the lead designer and pack developer for Trident,
Hello.
and myself. I'm Big Bad Chris. For those who don't know, I do marketing and visual design for FTB. And we're here to kind of show off Trident, which is something we've been working on for, what do you want to say, like...
Yeah, it's been a couple months now. It's been in development since I got back from PAX South, which was at the end of January, so quite some time.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, do we want to kind of start off with some of our introductions? Or not introductions, explaining of Trident's technical aspects?
Yeah. Basically, if you, I'll start off with what's in the pack and what kind of there's a few things like technical aspects to point out about it, and maybe I'll cover some of that stuff.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
So I'm not going to really go over the whole mod list because that will be available any minute to everybody anyway. So, but mainly it's a mash of tech mods and warfare based mods like flans, MC helicopters. There is some cool defense add-ons for Tinker's Construct. There is also open modular turrets, which is really cool. It allows you to set up like really cool defense in your base, and that's about it for the mods. You'll see your normal tech mods like a core supply energistics, thermal expansion. Some of the stuff is tweaked, some of the things are custom. It's not too heavy off of default. It's mainly it's not like an HQM pack where every little thing's changed and all the recipes are different. But somebody timed out a TeamSpeak. Oh, that wasn't Chris. Okay, good. That was somebody else.
Nope, I'm still here.
Awesome. So yeah, I think it's really cool. It's definitely something different to feed the beast. Hopefully it does well. It's not expected to be like a feed the beast Infinity, which caters to every single player out there. It's definitely got its own little unique. If people like PvP style, especially with like flans and stuff, you'll really enjoy this pack. But it is not going to be for everybody, and it is server play only. You can play single player, but it'd be kind of boring because it is meant to be PvP with your friends and other people. It is a very lightweight pack, and I kept it lightweight for the reason of it being server play only. A lot of people can't afford nice dedicated servers, so I wanted to be able to to have this pack be able to easily go on a 2 gig VPS with 10 or 12 people, and we tested in that environment and we had no problems at all with lag. It did very well. If anything needs to be tweaked after it's released to help some things, when it's out to the masses, of course we'll try our best to make it perform as best we can. So yeah, I see in chat that people say Flyboys. I'm gonna be honest. I knew nothing about that series until somebody asked me if I made this pack based off of that, and I went and watched one of, I believe it was BOO, I think is his screen name, and it is very similar actually. But I didn't know about that pack until just recently, about a month ago. But there is a lot of mods they have that we don't, and vice versa. And I believe it's geared a little bit different. Plus, we have a pre-designed map to play on. We're not using just a random seed. It is a pre-developed map. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. Maybe even go in on the map and show you guys kind of how that's laid out. But yeah, so that's pretty much kind of the basics of the mod pack.
So you mentioned that this is a PvP server only kind of mod pack. That's kind of a new direction for FTB, isn't it?
It is. It's something that I approached Slowpoke a couple months ago and said, hey, I have this idea for this pack. Can I do it, basically? And he thought about it, and he said, we've never done anything like that. He said, go give it a shot, and we kind of we both made the agreement, we'll never know how packs like this do until we try. It's our kind of big thing in 1.7 is we have a nice long time frame of 1.7 being around. So we knew that let's take advantage of the mods that are out there and the stability of everything right now, and let's put a nice variety of packs on the launcher. And this is just one of many still to come, and it's something different that Feed the Beast has never done. And I think that's good. If people don't like it, then don't play it. There's plenty of other mod packs that we have out there, but I want to try to cater to as many different groups of people, and not just have a kitchen sink pack. Let's have like a lot of different unique packs, and the pack after this is something that Feed the Beast has never done, and the pack after that. So it's we're definitely hitting new territory here, but I want to call it kind of like experimenting, and seeing how it goes, and and if this pack is really successful and people enjoy it, I will rebuild it for the next version that we make mod packs in. We'll keep it alive. If it has a very small following and there's not much interest in it, then we tried. We'll never know until we try with these packs. So Slowpoke gave me permission to make it, and we'll see how it does. I got a lot of positive feedback during beta testing. One thing that does hurt it is multiplayer only, and not everybody has access to a server. So I don't expect it to be super uber popular, and I don't make mod packs to be super uber popular. I want good stable mod packs that offer a variety of to our community. So
Wow. And so, with this being warfare themed, has there any been mods or mods into this pack that haven't been in real FTB packs before, or been in
yes.
packs that have been a long time ago since they've been released?
There's actually, I would say, a dozen mods in this pack that have never seen Feed the Beast mod packs. And that was kind of a risk that I ran. And the reason why a few of them haven't been in FTB mod packs was because of stability issues in the past. But since we're on 1.7 now, quite a few of these mods that I was looking at have become extremely stable. And that's why I was able to use them. And with testing, I can honestly say we had 3 test servers online and approximately 40 beta testers in teams testing this pack, and we never had a crash related to any of those mods, and I was very impressed with that. We had a couple little config issues that we sorted, and a couple little minor things. I actually reached out to one of the mod developers, gave them my feedback. They shipped me a build in 30 minutes with the suggestions I had. So it was awesome to work with some new mod developers, and they were very supportive as well. So it's interesting, and there's a couple packs coming up in the near future that has mods I've never seen Feed the Beast as well. And I kind of want to break away from some of those streamlined mods that we include in every single pack. It's nice to have the variety out there, like I said last time.
So we've mentioned this a few times, but it sounds like FTB is jumping from Trident to work on our newest pack. Is this kind of indicative of how FTB will work in the future with a large release roughly every month or so?
Yeah, the plan going into, I can't say honestly if it's going to be 1.8 or 1.9. It's way too early to tell, but whatever the next version of Minecraft that we build mod packs in for Feed the Beast, we are going to start off on shipping Infinity. That will be ported up to the next version of Minecraft. It may lack a few mods if they don't port, or it may have some new mods in it. It's not going to be exact clone. If worlds are supported, I'm not sure. We won't know until it gets closer. And we're going to probably ship Horizons alongside with that to showcase new mods, not just new to Minecraft, but new to Feed the Beast as well. And then that will give us pack developers a good testing ground to have Infinity out and Horizons that will showcase a lot of different mods. You're talking a couple hundred mods between the two, and then we will focus and work on our custom packs like what this is, and we'll then follow suit. And then it's nice to have one come out every month or so, because it keeps our content. If we pushed everything we're working out on now, then we could be sitting 8 months with no content coming out. And so we're trying to avoid that, and we want to, make maybe, whether it be a monthly release or every 2 months or every 6 weeks or however it pans out. We don't want to shove everything out at once. We want to give people time to play a pack, and then, when they start to get bored and hit in game, they've got a new pack they can jump into, and we'll try to make that last over the lifetime of Minecraft 1.7, or modded Minecraft 1.710. So that is kind of our plan in the future as well. This is kind of like a trial run for us to see how things go. So far, the support's been great for it. So
Yeah, as a player, that sounds absolutely wonderful to me because I mean, I tend to go through packs fairly quickly. Um, and I like the fact that I will have something new from FTB on a semi-consistent regular schedule with really short turnaround time, which is really nice to have.
yeah, and we hope most people feel that way. Like we're actively working on 4 mod packs in the background right now. Some of them taking longer than others, and that's kind of how we, decided what order we're going to release the upcoming packs in. But, I think it's better to release a pack every month or something to keep the community with new content. And like you said, if you play a pack for a couple weeks and you're done, you've only got a week or two to wait and you're going to get a new pack out. And as long as we have the manpower, the time, and the creativity, with the amount of mods that are out there, there's no reason why we can't make that happen.
I like the sound of that. But before we go into the more future of FTB stuff, let's cycle back to Trident for a little bit. And I know you explained a little bit about how the idea of Trident came along, but could you elaborate on that? Like, how did you get the idea for Trident?
Okay, so I had, it was about 6 months ago, I had a little private server that I was playing around on, and I started throwing together some mods, and I had a small gaming community of people that I was playing with, and we decided, a couple of them are YouTubers and streamers. I didn't actually stream any myself, but we decided let's do something PvP based. And so I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. So I just downloaded the latest versions of some mods that I thought out there, and we threw it together. And it was a blast. We had a great time. We did it for about a week. We hit some high-end tech stuff. We had some cool weapons. We did little scrimmage matches and stuff and fought each other. And then at the very end, when we all decided we were kind of starting to get bored, we just blew up everything, and it was a blast. It was awesome. And you know what? And I was like, this might be something, we might have something here, and that's when I approached Slowpoke about it, and he said, let's do it. And so that's kind of how I got the idea, was by actually making a knockoff of this pack. Obviously, the time didn't go into balancing or anything when I did that test pack for myself and my friends. So we had a lot of exploits and a lot of crashes and stuff like that. But it was just for us, so we didn't mind. But yeah, we had fun with it, and between myself and the half a dozen other people that were playing, we kind of like, for example, one of the people that were playing with us only likes magic stuff. He's big Thaumcraft, Ars Magic, all that kind of stuff. And he actually enjoyed it, and I'm like, well, that's cool. I'm a tech kind of person, but I kind of am a kitchen sink player. Like, I love Infinity. I like to be able just to do whatever I want on a server, But then we had another guy that was real heavy PvP, so we realized that people that didn't think they would like it liked it, and I was like, you know what, this might actually do really good. And it basically gave me the overall idea of let's try to develop this into an official pack. Let's support it and put a lot of effort into balancing it, making it stable. And then after that, that's when I said, you know what, let's make a map for it. And I did the map myself. It's not the best. I'm not a map builder, but I think it turned out really well. I'm happy with it. The feedback I've gotten has been great on it, so I hope you guys enjoy it. It's nothing fancy, but it's the layout of the map, I think, is what's important. It's not the structures and stuff that are on the map. It's really the way it's designed, I think, is important to the game. The map is optional. If you don't want to use the map, you could create a random seed. However, there are a few extra features the map gives that, I suggest to try the map first. Do a playthrough with the map. If you decide the map isn't for you, then do a random seed. But give it a shot. Try the map first, because there are a few things that the pack is built around that only work on the map itself.
So this pack kind of developed out of a need to fill a niche that you as a player felt wasn't really available in modded Minecraft.
It wasn't, and I went through on Technic, and of course on their official packs, I didn't see anything on AT either. I didn't have time to go through the thousands of third-party packs and stuff like that. I did kind of quickly go through some of our packs, our third-party stuff, and I didn't see anything with the content out there. And I said, you know what, there's nothing out there like this. Let's give it a shot, And then I was told about the Flyboys thing, and I was kind of bummed, I was like, oh man, that somebody else had the idea before me, which is fine. But I was kind of glad to find out they do not have it hosted anywhere. You can't get that mod pack. So I was kind of glad in a way to find that out, and I was like, okay, well, we can help fill that void, because people that do watch their series, this is probably the closest you can get to them on a mod pack that's going to be stable and supported by a community like Feed the Beast, you know. So I think it may help them out in turn. You know, they may be able to say, hey, go try out Trident. It's very similar to what we're doing on our private server, but we're not going to ship the pack, you know. And you know, they might have some mods they can't get permissions for. I don't know why they don't ship it. You know, they're not map pack developers, so it's probably why. You know, they don't have time to support mod packs and stuff. They just play content and provide awesome videos for people to watch. So we do the opposite. So yeah, so I think it'll be good.
That sounds cool. I mean, I've never played Flyboys myself, but just playing with Trident when we did the video in the trailer,
Yeah.
I was the one who fell out of the helicopter. It
was
it was
awesome.
a totally different experience, and just playing around and learning these new mods, which I've never ever played with in a modded Minecraft instance before. I mean, I was flying a helicopter, we were shooting from tanks, got some guns. I'm like, well, that's new. I haven't done that. I haven't done that on FTB packs. I haven't done that on Forgecraft. That was really cool. And you mentioned some challenges, like finding out that the Flyboys pack existed, and there's a couple other things like developing a map that you really hadn't had experience before. Are there any other challenges that you faced when you were making this pack?
I will say that honestly, the biggest challenge I faced was lack of experience in PvP Minecraft. Well, I take that back. In modded PvP Minecraft. I'm a huge UHC fan. I love vanilla UHC. I've always enjoyed it. I used to follow it a couple years ago when the Minecrackers first started it. And I've done it with friends on servers, and it's really fun. However, trying to bring modded Minecraft into the UHC experience is really hard, because it's really hard to incorporate balance. And UHC is developed to be meant to be played in a 2 to 4 hour time span. Trident, however, is not. Trident is more long term. You know, you can play Trident as fast as you want, but it's kind of geared to play for a few weeks minimally, up to like a month before you're going to hit in-game stuff. You can rush that, obviously, if if you're not a student, or if you're unemployed, or if you happen to have a ton of time to play Minecraft. You can obviously probably hit in-game in less than a week if you really wanted to. But my biggest challenge was learning how the weapons worked, and learning the mods I've never worked with before, and mainly like the MC helicopters and the flans, and there's a few other mods that I just had never worked with before. I've seen them a lot on YouTube videos and stuff, but I had no idea how to use them. I mean, I didn't know how to fly the helicopter. It took me 10 minutes to figure out how to even get the thing off the ground. But I will say it had a really nice learning curve. Once I spent about 20 minutes messing around with it, I could fly the thing pretty good, I thought. And you actually picked it up, right at first. You were crashing into the side of mountains. Next thing you know, you were flying a thing like a pilot. You were doing really well.
Oh yeah, I remember
After
that.
10 or 15 minutes, you pretty much figured out how it works. And you could probably back me on this. I was really impressed on how they perform on servers. They're really, really smooth. I was super impressed with that, and I was really glad, because that was going to be a key feature for me. If the helicopters and stuff were like horses or boats on servers, I wasn't going to use the mod. And to my surprise, they are really impressive. Even going out generating new terrain. That's the nice advantage of playing on a pre-generated map, is you're not generating terrain. But even once I got out beyond the borders and started generating terrain, they were fine. There was a couple little like rubber banding here and there, but nothing more than what I expect. I thought it was going to be terrible, and they were really good. So I was really happy to see that. Same thing with like the tanks and stuff. They do really well. They seem to do almost better in a server than on my client, which was really good. So overall, the whole challenge for me was just learning these new mods and learning how they work, and to try to fix things that were exploits and stuff. And I really had to just go through and sit down and play through quite a few times, where I normally don't have to. Like with Infinity, I know most of those mods. I know how most of them work, but this one was definitely a big challenge in that.
I completely agree. I can totally understand how learning those mods was certainly a challenge you didn't really expect, because it's like, okay, I'm going to build a pack, this is how it works, and it's like, well, wait a minute, I don't even know exactly how this works. And you got to break down and like take the role of a player almost, as even though you're a pack creator and a map developer, and be like, okay, how does this function go from here to here to here and kind of plan out your tech trees. And that was a challenge even for me. So I'd imagine putting an entire whole pack together was quite a daunting task.
Yeah, it was, and I had reached out to a few people, and they didn't have any type of experience with it either. And I was like, well, I'm just going to take this all myself and learn as I go. And I think as an end result, it came out good. I'm definitely open to feedback from the public once this thing is out in everybody's hands, and I will make minor changes to tweak a few things if I get enough of people saying, hey, this should do this and not this. Then of course I'll take it in consideration. And if it becomes a popular pack and we bring it into a next version of modded Minecraft, I think it'll only get better, because I've learned how to do the basics of it now. I know how to work with the mods that we're using to make this pack happen.
So has there been anything in Trident that changed from the initial conception of the idea to the actual release?
Yeah, actually there has been a few things. One, I really like the mod Smart Movement, and it was really fun. It added a lot of cool, unique things. Actually, if you've watched a trailer, you saw where I was lying down in a prone position. That was because of the mod Smart Movement. However, with a bunch of other mods, it just ended up not getting along with everything like we had anticipated. And there's a lot of bad side effects of having it. And I was sad, but we did have to pull the mod, unfortunately. So that was... that was one of the core mods that I started with. I started with Flans, and I started with Smart Movement. I started with a handful of mods, and then started bringing in the mods that I knew and added to it to give it an overall modded experience. But yeah, so that was probably one of the biggest things that actually did change. And I was sad to see it go, but it's for the better, for the stability of the pack. So.
Well, before we get into bringing in some of the beta testers, I figured we'd cover a little bit more of the server stuff. And a little bit extra Trident stuff before we do that when we get that set up. So let's see, who would be the best to talk about this? We have a new way to do servers on FTB.
Yes, I'm going to actually let you cover that because you actually know more about that than I do.
Okay, I can do that. Do you have access to that in the forums so we can see that on stream?
I do. Let's see.
The topics have been deleted, but we can still see it.
Yeah, I should have set that up actually before. I didn't even think about that. Let's see.
Well, I'll keep talking while it's going on.
Yep, go for it.
So because Trident is a very server-heavy, I wouldn't say server-heavy, but server-dependent, and not even really that, but it requires servers to an extent. We decided that we really need a better way of utilizing and hosting and listing servers on our website so people can easily find new servers to join, because we figured that without that it would be pretty hard to get Trident going, just jumping in between topics and stuff like that. So we have been deploying and testing a new server system on our forums that can be used to quickly list packs and find or list servers and find servers, so that people can just jump on, they can figure out what they want, and they can just go straight for it. So this new section is got all the servers listed on the left side of the screen, so we can easily sort by whatever packs you like. You can also search by whitelist or open or anything else like that, or gray list. And then you can also search by mod version, and you can just completely put your server up. There's a section for descriptions, images, links to a server's IP, links to a server's website, or links to a server's support. So it's just really easy and a nice, quick, simple system to just go in and find what you need or list what you want if you're advertising a server. So that's something that we've been working on. We are planning to deploy this, actually, probably right when we release Trident. We've got all the testing going. It's all completed. The system seems to be in place. And right when we release Trident, in about, I want to say 34 minutes,
yep.
We will get this new server section up.
Yeah, and I do have it up on the screen now. And right now it's empty, of course, because we deleted all of our test posts and everything that we had a bunch of testers create. But you can kind of see here the categories, and then they'll be ranked. You'll be able to rank the server. When you do rank a server, you have to submit a reason for the ranking. So if you rank them 1 star, if you're like, oh, I got banned for something I didn't do, then the admin of the post then has is able to respond saying, no, you did grief. This is why you're banned, and that is available to the public for everybody to see. So somebody can't downrank you without a valid reason, which I think is really nice. So it's a really cool, unique way to have good servers be up in the top of the list. The way that it works now is it's just sorted by most recent post, and so I think this will be a cool way to categorize and find servers for people to play on, and also for server owners and admins to be able to advertise their server at the same time. I think it's a win-win for everybody. It's really nice. There's not too much I can really show because there's no servers here, obviously, but if I click like add server, I could just pick a category. Let's say Trident. Trident's there. Let's hit continue, and then you can see that the title would be, I'd pick open whitelist or graylist. So let's do a public one. We'll name it T-Fox's server. Leave it at that. Tagline, that could just be a quick, like, kind of one line for your server, like coolest server ever, right? Server IP, that would be something dot whatever your IP is, or numbers. Mod pack version, obviously it's going to be 1.0.0 for us, and then a full description of your server, so you can just put a bunch of stuff in there. If you have a website or if you have a support website, you can put all the information in there. You can also put external website URLs obviously in here, which is good, and you can even upload a resource icon. So we'll hit that. We'll hit upload images. Let's just go ahead, and I think on my desktop I do have the artwork for this pack that Chris did. There it is right there. Let's open that and throw that there. And oh, it's too long. I figured it would be too large. Anyway, so yeah, that's a huge file because Chris gives us the mod pack files. They're like 4 megs. But obviously we would have to downsize that to put it there. But you get the idea. You can upload, and then we hit save. And there we go. There's our server. Obviously, it wants me to do a icon, but I can't do one right now. But yeah, then there's a server, and then you can go in and you can rank it. So you can see the all-time rating right now. Obviously, there's no stars because nobody has voted. But if you go back to servers, you now see it, and you can go ahead and vote on it. I, however, can't vote on it because I am the person that created the server, so that'll just sort everything, and then you can say, oh, I want to look for whitelist servers. You can sort them by whitelist, you can sort them by graylist. I think it's really cool. I think it's really neat. So
yeah, it sounds like will be really, really handy, and I know I will use it.
Your mic just got really fuzzy there for a second.
Oh no.
It's doing that thing that I was doing the other day. But yeah, so I think it's really nice. It's a great place for people to put their servers, and not just for them to get buried in post. And if you have a good server and people like it, it's gonna be near the top of the list, which is awesome. And it's nice for people that, not just for the server owners. It's really nice for people looking for servers, because then they can really see reviews of the servers. And if a bunch of people post they have connection issues, then you'll probably know that the person might be hosting the server from their house or something, and not have good internet. So, yeah, so let's see if we get Chris back.
Am I back?
Yes, and you're clear again. Awesome.
Yay. Oh, joys of USB microphones. So anyway, well, the server session sounds really amazing. Gonna like that. For those who are wondering what happened, what will happen to the previous topics created in the section of the forums, we have disabled, or will disable, the creation of new topics there, and we will slowly phase out that system, and we will have everyone move over to this new one, and so we can have a nice unified place for servers as well.
And it does look like somebody just voted on my server. They only gave me
Fancy.
3 stars. Let's see, what do they have to say. There is a way to see votes. This is the first time I've really messed with it, to be honest, so I don't even know how to look at votes. But I promise you guys, there is a way you can see votes. But somebody ranked me 3 stars. So our beta testers have access to this. They're the ones that that helped us test all this stuff. So it's probably one of them that's watching the stream. So, but yeah, so that's awesome.
And while you got your internet browser up, let's talk about the new merchandise on the shop.
Yeah, I will navigate to that right now.
Let me pop chat back into place.
All right.
So yeah, with the release of Trident, we also have the release of Trident merchandise. I just can't talk today. So we have shirts, we have prints, we have tank tops, we have hoodies, we have a whole bunch of things for FTB Trident. And I do believe, no quote me on this, that we do have free worldwide shipping currently available on Society 6. So now might be the time to pick stuff up.
Yes, I actually, earlier when I looked at it, pop-up told me there was free worldwide shipping, and but it didn't pop up this time. But yeah, I actually am thinking about ordering some of these prints. I kind of think, like, I have this vision. I've got a wall that's open in my office. I kind of, every pack that I've been associated with Feed the Beast, I want to get a print. You know, I think it'd be cool to have that. So yeah, I really like the artwork for Trident. It's really awesome. He did an awesome job with that. And actually,
yeah,
Brian from Curse just pinged me on my phone and said the artwork's amazing.
Yay!
So that's really cool. Yeah, so definitely check out this merchandise. Really cool stuff. It even looks like they even have some iPhone cases and stuff too.
They do. We do have phone cases that fit for, I think, all versions of iPhone, versions of the iPod Touch, and the Samsung Galaxy Series S5 and S6. It might be S5 and S4.
Ooh, that actually looks kind of cool, that green right there. I'm playing around to see how the logo looks on different colors. It actually looks good on any color. Because it's like the vector, you know what I mean? It's not the background. It looks really good. The gray looks good. Yeah, it's really nice, man. Really, really nice.
I currently have a Dragon Crush hoodie and a FTB logo hoodie on order that are currently being shipped to my house.
Nice. Yeah, so everybody definitely check that out. Let me get a link I'll put it right in the stream so people, if they want to go to that now, they can have a look. There we go. Cool. You have anything else you need to cover on that, or?
I think we're good in that department.
All right, let me go ahead and close that out. I am going to switch over to there. There we go. So there is the mod pack. And you can take it from here, Chris.
Okay, sounds good. Let's bring back the mod pack. So I believe at this point, actually, can we start doing a little bit of playthrough and seeing the actual version of Trident? And then I'll see if I can do about bringing in a beta tester. So we have some questions for them.
Yeah, definitely. Let me. I've got him ready to come down. I mean, whenever I can bring him in. So he is in the Mankini Mansion.
Okay, let me pull him in. And if you want to start playing Trident for a little bit and just kind of demonstrating the world around you, we'll get that covered.
Oh wait, single player. Okay, so obviously I'm not shipping the map with single player.
From your channel.
It's only going to be shipped server side, but we are going to offer the map. It'll be on Curse. You can download it directly from Curse, and it'll also be on our launcher as well. And you can download the map on our launcher. So, for example, it will be shipped with a server. So if you're setting up a server, you can easily, you know, the map will be there. But say if you want to do like a LAN mode or something like that, let me just turn my sounds down really quick. If you want to do a LAN mode or something like that, you're going to need to download the map because it is not shipped with the client. Oops. And I'm in creative. I was just doing some testing. So this is the world I built the map in. This is the spawn area. So you see there's some death points, and I've got some waypoints around. Obviously, you guys won't have this. And if you look at my journey map, you will notice there's a radar, and I come up as missing name. That is because if I F5, there is no name tags on here, so you don't see anybody's names, which is really cool. So you can sneak up on people, stuff like that. But you really need to learn what your team's skins look like, because it is kind of confusing. You might kill your own people occasionally, but a little interesting twist. There will be no radar. There's no radar K view. That is blocked server side. If server admins want to change that, they can go into the Journey Map server side configs and undo that. But it is shipped with Journey Map Fair Play. But you can, even if you were to download the unlimited version and put it on your client, you still wouldn't be able to have radars. So that is there just to help keep everything kind of, you know, more where you need to be on the lookout for people not just looking at your radar. So to get started, you'll just start here. This is the spawn point. There's a little runway here for your helicopters and stuff like that. This is the spawn area. So this is kind of a neutral area, you know, that people can meet and do stuff like that. These are some team chests. You've got some leather in here. The 3 colors are the Feed the Beast colors. You can see the wool there. There's some books. I definitely suggest reading the Trident info book first, and then reading your team's private info, and that will give you the coordinates of where your base is. If we just fly out here a little bit, you'll see that around this whole spawn area is a wasteland. What makes this wasteland really unique is it has no water. All the water has been replaced with sludge, and it will hurt you, so you want to try to avoid that stuff. Another unique thing about the wasteland is mobs do not burn during the day, and they do a little bit more damage than they do in the like kind of valley areas. So it's not a safe place to be. It's kind of a no man's land. You will not want to be out here until you have some good armor, or at least some good weapons to be able to defend yourself. So I'll kind of fly over to, we'll fly over to this base. The bases are, as you can kind of see, they're quite a, you know, this is a big map. The map's 1600 by 1600. So like that base is approximately over 1,000 from this base once I get here. So the reason I spread them so far apart is because I figured the best means for travel would be flight. And the only way to fly in this mod pack is with vehicles. There are no jetpacks. There's no sort of creative flight. There are hang gliders, so you can hang glide, but that's about the closest you're going to get to flying in this pack. You are going to you're going to need to make vehicles. So we'll come over here, and this is a valley, and the mobs are normal here. Of course, there is normal world gen underneath, origin, I mean, for the pack. It is a little bit custom, but it is pretty standard to like what Infinity is for origin. And you'll come over, and you'll have a little bunker. In this bunker is nothing. This is your little starting area. This is it. You've got some caved in tunnels, and this is it. This is where you can kind of start, and then you go from there. You can choose to build in there if you want, or choose to build above the ground. It's however you want to do it. Each one of these little unique valleys has one of these bunkers somewhere in the valley, and you can do whatever you want. Some people tend to build underground. Some people like to build above ground. It's completely up to you guys. There are some mountains in each valley which are great for putting like the open modular turrets on, so you can set up like defense, so when people come near you can have like you know, ground to air missiles and stuff like that that will shoot down helicopters, and yeah, you can get really fancy with stuff. Also, if we go beyond this area, we'll keep going a little bit. You will see that it will turn into normal world gen. And right now I'm kind of seeing through chunks. That's because I'm actually streaming this and I'm doing a local capture so we can provide this on YouTube like as soon as this is over. So my computer's kind of struggling right now. This is a wall that goes all the way around the perimeter of the map. The one important thing to note is the seed is pre-loaded into this map. So the world generation is going to match up. As you can see, the terrain matches up. The biomes don't. They're going to have a transition over this wall, but the actual like terrain itself matches up, and it just goes on forever. It then turns into just a normal Minecraft world. There are quite a few biomes disabled, and there's quite a few biomes that are amplified. One thing to note is the ore generation does get a little bit denser the farther away you go. But to help keep that balance, once you get over this wall, the mobs get harder and harder and harder, and they multiply the farther away you go. So if you go a couple thousand out, you're going to have pretty dense ore, but your mobs are going to probably one-hit you in really good armor. So you got to be careful. So I wouldn't suggest going over the wall until you're suited up with some cool armor and some good weapons for defense. And there's, of course, villages and natural spawning structures, some cool dungeons and stuff that are out there for you guys to find and explore. When the map is shipped, it is shipped where this is not generated. So when you're inside of here, all this is pre-generated. This outside is not. So it's up to server owners. If they want to force generate out a little bit, they can. But just keep in mind, past this wall, your server will be generating. Let's see. What else did I want to kind of cover? But let's see. Actually, you can see the map on my journey map. So there's base 1. You can kind of see it's Green Valley. We've got base 2 over here. And then down here we have base 3. I have no favorite. Each base kind of has its little advantage over its advantage. Like this one looks a little bit smaller, but it's got some nice mountains around it, so I kind of think it's a little bit better than maybe the bigger one. But for what you guys choose for your base is completely up to you. But you can kind of see here how the terrain all matches up. You know, the water and the lakes and stuff. It's just different, and that's important. I am shipping the server properties, which is a file with servers, and I have the seed in there, so I do not suggest changing that. If you do change it, you're going to get some really ugly chunk borders around this map, because the seed mapping will be different. It won't affect what's inside, but it will make it pretty ugly out here. So I definitely suggest sticking with that seed that is shipped with the server. And then as far as anything else is shipped with a server, that needs to be specific for this pack, there really isn't anything. Of course, there's a map. You know, so there's a pre-save already loaded in, and your server.properties. Everything else is standard to any of our other packs. You need to agree to the EULA. You need to run the FTB install script to get your vanilla jars down, and then you're good to go. You can launch it, and you will log right in at spawn. I was looking at a few custom mods to custom setup teams and stuff, and we could never get them working right, and they were really derpy. And we even tried with command blocks, but come to find out, you know, it's kind of like player dependent, and if I set up all the command blocks, they wouldn't work for a lot of people, and we didn't do it. But I do suggest that server owners maybe put their players in teams. We did do it on our beta testing, and in Minecraft 1.7, when you hold tab, which I'm not on a server at the moment, it would show like the red team, it would show all their names in red, and stuff like that. And if you want to do death counters or whatever, you can get real fancy with it. But however, I wasn't able to implement that well enough for me to want to ship it. So but I did try quite a few different things, and it just didn't work out quite the way I wanted to. So it is up to server owners if they want to throw people in teams, like officially in the list, you know, so that you can see who's in what team. But yeah, so that's pretty much the basics of the map. So like I said, it's nothing fancy. It's my first one. I'm not a very creative builder. Like I feel like I can build good in survival, like when I do cool survival builds, because I take my time. But when I'm trying to build something creative, I'm just not that good at it. And so we figured, you know, we don't need anything fancy for this. It's going to eventually all get destroyed anyway, right? With missiles and stuff. There'll be craters all over the place. So, but you know, how you guys play the game is kind of up to you. I kind of envision having like a gentleman's rule on a server, and basically what we did is when the beta testers jumped on servers, which when we have him in here talking in a few minutes, he'll be able to kind of explain a little bit about that. They set up like a rule board at spawn, and they put a bunch of signs on it and had some simple rules. Basically one was something to do with gravestones. You do generate gravestones when you die, but whether you're entitled to take that person's gravestone is kind of like you need to agree with the server on how the rules are. And I believe that most of beta tester servers, they did it where if you go and kill somebody in their own base, like unexpectedly, you can't take their grave, you know. But if you're trying to like go in to kill somebody in another base and they defeat you, then your grave's all theirs, you know. And I'm all for that. I agree with that 100%. And I think that was a cool rule, and that's nothing obviously I can enforce as a mod pack developer. That's completely up to the server owners and the people playing. And then they kind of had a gentleman's rule where, you know, you don't take anything from people's bases and you don't destroy their bases until everybody's kind of at the end. So you can do all the fighting you want and killing and stuff, but they didn't destroy each other's bases until the very end, and they blew everything up. And then it was kind of like last team standing won. And, you know, it definitely can be a lot different. But one thing also to note, and it's perfect time, is as you notice the sun going down, it's going to get extremely dark. And that was something I kind of did as a prank to myself when I was playing it, and then I really liked it, and I decided to keep it in. But we do have hardcore darkness. And it gets pitch black, as in you will not see anything. Like when I go in these trees, it is black, and the sun's still setting. You can see the sky, and that's about it. But it definitely makes the night attack's interesting because if you're going to attack other people at night with not having to with not being able to see name tags and no radar on the mini map. I mean, look at how dark this is. You know, it's crazy. There's some type of light over there, maybe from lava or something that we can just see. But I literally can't see my hand in front of my face right here. And it makes it really interesting for night attacks. And I thought that was a cool little twist to add in the pack. Some people like it, some people hate it. You know, if it's something that you guys decide you don't like, you can of course disable it from the mod pack. But I think it's really fun. It adds a cool twist that we don't have in any of our other packs. So yeah, so that's pretty much about the basics of it, Chris.
Okay. I mean, I've played on this a little bit before, but I really didn't get the full experience of it because I was just flying around in helicopters waiting for cameras to go off. But we do have someone in here that did play a round of Trident in beta testing. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm John. I was one of the beta testers. We kind of. Well, it was about a month, wasn't it, people?
Yeah, it was close to a month. Yes, it was, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't expect to really play that long, to be honest. Thought it was going to be a thing which was going to last like a few hours at first, but then we actually got the pack, and it turned out to be a month. Okay. And at first we started off at spawn, and we all kind of I pretty much stood there for about 5-10 minutes writing rules, and we all just decided what we wanted. Kind of like as T-Fox said about the graves, like if you went to a base and tried to attack people, if you died, they kept your stuff, or if you just, don't know, suddenly just appeared out of nowhere without saying anything, and they could take your stuff. Couldn't remember rules exactly. And then after that, I pretty much started playing, and it started getting dark. And obviously, as you notice, when it gets dark, you can't see a thing. And I couldn't even get to the base at the time. We just pretty much all struggled getting to bases as it was pitch black.
Jeez. So there's in our chat, there seems to be a red team versus green team versus blue team war. Which team did you belong to?
I played on the blue team with my teammates in the chat, Sorcerer Fox and Gustian Eagle. And there was one other person, but he didn't play as often or wasn't on the same time as us because of time zones. That's the one disadvantage of playing on this. We all were in different time zones, so we're either playing as a pair or playing on our own. Kind of a disadvantage.
So that kind of leads me into the next question: is how did the blue team function? Did you all kind of do everything, or did you guys split up the tasks and trying to accomplish the goals?
That we kind of just winged it, to be honest. We just, when we were playing, we thought, what do we need to like all the battles and everything? So we thought, get like machines going. Well, first we started off mining as much as we could. I think we spent at least a few days mining, because you need a lot of resources to get quite a few, like the machines and planes and everything. Especially gunpowder. It's like gunpowder is quite a hard thing to get.
Yes, that's changed. Yeah.
Because at first, we got the pack. At first, we played it as a single player game, and there was multiple ways you can get gunpowder. And then we found out, after we got the pack on the server, that there's only one way to get gunpowder, and that was a smelting recipe with blazing pyrotheum.
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, gunpowder is like diamonds in this pack, so we wanted to make it a little bit difficult. So creepers don't drop gunpowder, so you can't make a big creeper farm and just make all the ammunition you want. So
yeah, we struggled with that so much. We ended up just using, it's mostly just sword battles because it was so hard to get gunpowder.
Yeah,
we did manage to.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit easier now than when you guys did play. So I did take your feedback on that. Yes. Yeah. That was. I think I was a little mean with that. I apologize. And I did see you guys did struggle quite a bit on that, and it is a little bit easier, but it's still not as easy as like vanilla, you know.
Because we even had a blaze farm, and we still struggled. I mean, I think I made about 4 clips of ammo that entire month
Mm-hmm.
because it was so hard to make rounds of ammo. There's no gun. You couldn't get gunpowder any other way than smelting blaze and pyro fuel.
Right.
So it sounds like that's a huge accomplishment to try to just get the gunpowder needed to fuel all your machinery and weapons.
It's like, oh, it's never like, oh, we found diamonds, yay! It's like, we got gunpowder, thank God.
Yeah. Like I said, gunpowder is pretty much needed for any type of ammunition, anything for the vehicles and stuff, and so it was something we wanted to make a little bit more difficult, because if not, then you could literally hit in-game in a couple days, and we wanted to this be more of a long-term play and not just a couple day thing, so we decided to make gunpowder have an alternative way to get it in bulk amounts. And there are quite some interesting systems I've seen set up where people have farmed gunpowder, and if you put your heads together and come up with some unique ways, you can get a ton of it, but it's not something easy you're going to do in the first day. So it's pretty cool. It's different.
Yeah. It wasn't something you get done in a day. It was a thing you'd done over time.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So I have a question. Mainly this is on behalf of server owners. What was the performance like?
The performance, I don't think we had no problems with lag or anything, to be honest.
Yeah, there was one crash you guys dealt with, and that has been fixed. It was actually in the map. We did finally fix it, but I think that was really the only problems that I know of that they had. But
yeah, I didn't find a single problem with it, except from that one bug I found with planes, that if you had like a full inventory, you broke a plane and then tried to replace it down and refuel it, it would exit to the main screen.
yes,
Every time until you emptied your inventory.
yeah.
Oh,
That was-
jeez.
So that was the only problem I found. Other than that, it was hack round, beautiful. It never lagged. The FPS was high. Nothing wrong with it.
So even with all those planes and helicopters and stuff like that, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was quite surprised myself. So I've played with plans and plane mods in the past, and they would lag servers out so much, and you could just you'd have low FPS, you wouldn't be able to do anything. And quite surprisingly, we didn't have any of that.
Yeah, and
That's
that
pretty
was
nice.
one of the big things I looked into in developing the pack, because fans used to be really hard on servers, and with all the testing I did before I even made this a possibility of being a pack, I looked into all that and noticed that it performed really well, and I was like, oh, this is definitely a possibility now. So, and I was really impressed with the way it performed for the beta testers. Like I said, we did have one little weird crash that we finally got fixed, but as far as performance, I constantly would go like on my phone or on the computer and just do a TPS check on the 3 different servers, and they were always at 20. You know, it was impressive. That it was so good. You know, we had 10 to 12 people, I believe, on each server. It is modded Minecraft, so I wouldn't put 100 people on one of these worlds, but with a reasonable sized team of 3 or 4 or 5 people on each team, you're looking at 12 to 15 players on a server, and they do really great, and it makes it nice and affordable, because you can go pick up a 2 gig VPS from CreeperHost for a few bucks a month, and you've got this set up for a few friends, and it's great. So that was kind of a big thing in design for me, is I didn't want it to have to be on on a server that you can't afford. And fortunately, it turned out where it uses a lot less resources than I thought it would. And client side, it's very lightweight. I had a lot of testers come to me saying they're playing on old laptops, and they were really impressed with the performance they were getting. So
Yeah, I went to college one day and thought, oh, let's just see what it's like on the computer, because our computers at college are terrible. I mean, like a couple gigs of RAM and like Intel Pentiums, and I was getting quite decent FPS, like 30, 40 FPS just on a toaster, and I was quite shocked.
that's really good. That's good to hear.
That is good to hear. And that actually reminds me, this leads into a two-part question. I'll ask the first part. Is there any like really memorable moment that you had during playing Trident on your team or just by yourself?
Memorable moment. Most probably more of a prank, if anything. Me and Gushin just thought one day that it was it was like near the end of the server, and we were kind of getting a bit bored because there wasn't much to do, and there wasn't too many people on. But I think it was red team. Red team were just like standing in their base, just like going around like through a smelter and everything. To me, Gushing thought, let's do a prank. So what we done was we got they had like a little like sheep farm, and they're all like normal white sheep. So Gush and I went in a helicopter, flew over to the base. I then jumped out the helicopter because I had MPS armor, and so I didn't take any fall damage. And I went round the back of their base, while Gushing just like hovered over like the forest just on the other side, like distract them. And I pretty much came round into their base, got all their sheep, kind of, and changed all the colours to them. What was it, pink and some other colours, and just kind of like moved them about a bit without them noticing. And then I shot a couple of fires of guns to kind of see if they'd noticed me, and they didn't at all. Until then, I think he came to pick me up, and then they still didn't notice me, even though I walked right past them, and it was just hilarious.
I'm actually flying one of the helicopters, and I am not a good pilot. I'm going to go and throw that out there right now.
Yeah, they were very difficult.
I will say, once you learn how to fly, I haven't done it in like a month, but once I figured out how to do it, I was really good at it. It's just, it's a movement you're not used to in Minecraft, if that makes sense. But it doesn't have a hard learning curve. Once you do figure out how it reacts and how it responds to your key presses and your mouse movements, they're quite impressive. I still am impressed at how smooth they are.
I was quite impressed with the planes. I was quite surprised how easy they were at first.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. See, that was all right.
Firing
right
some missiles?
No, I didn't put any ammunition in it, but I did okay landing it, though.
That's the one thing I struggled with, was trying to shoot things out of like the planes and helicopters. It was it was just impossible, to be honest, because you could never get on target.
Yeah, when you're flying, the best thing to do is have two people, and you have like, so in this helicopter, you pilot it from the rear seat, and then the front seat is the gunner. So you can literally have your teammate sit in the front seat, and while you're flying, your teammate can do all the weapons. That's the best way to do it, because it is really hard to do it yourself, because you're trying to maneuver it and fly it, and then try to aim a weapon and shoot at the same time. I found myself not being able to do that. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that can. I couldn't. But I like the idea of saying, hey, who's the best pilot on our team? Let's let them fly. And who's the best gunner? And then they can do the shooting, you know. And then maybe somebody can come in a ground vehicle and do another attack or something. So, but
so I got.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay. I got two quick questions for you guys both. Just before we wrap this up, because we're about to release soon, really quickly.
Yep.
So, do you guys have any tips for new players based in your designing experience and your playing experience?
First thing is get your items and get to your base as quickly as possible before night time. If you don't get there, you are screwed, because you can't see a thing, and it's going to be impossible to get there.
Yes, I will say that when you start the server world, you know, you've only got 10 minutes until night sets in, and I highly suggest probably getting your teams together and then hanging out around spawn here and letting the first night go by. There is a Magnum torch hidden here at spawn. It's in a spawn protected chunk, so only ops could dig it up, but it will help you out. So there will be no mobs spawning right in this general area. So I do suggest maybe sitting out your first night right here. Maybe have somebody put up a rule board. You can harvest some trees, make some signs or something. Going over all the rules and reading the information for your specific team. Maybe go ahead and preset a waypoint with the coordinates that you're giving in your map so you know which way to go. And then as soon as the sun comes up, that's when I would suggest heading to your base. That would be my biggest tip. And then once you get out in your valley, you definitely want to get shelter, get some food. You know, by default, the server difficulty is on normal. Server admins can obviously change that, you know, to whatever they desire. But, you know, food would definitely be important. There's no food mods as far as, you know, anything that will make food any harder, I decided, I'm going to save that for other packs. I wanted this pack to be more PvP, not PvE, So I did hold off on doing any type of hunger overhaul or spice of life or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, like he said, the most important thing is like getting to your base. Is one of the biggest tips. I highly suggest waiting the first night out at spawn where you're protected and then go from there.
So that's I never even really thought of that, because immediately what I would want to do is just head off immediately so I didn't get hit. So that's some nice tips, actually.
Yeah, I think most of the beta testers and stuff, they generally are like, spawn is kind of a neutral zone. When a player is in spawn, you don't, you're not going to kill them. And then some of them also set up rules, I believe, as where they gave like, a 48-hour real life time of no PvP. To give people the chance to get established. Because when you're running a server like this, not every single person, not all 15 people can be online at the same time. So they wanted to give a fair chance for everybody to be able to, to have at least some basic armor and stuff. And I think, if Jod could correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure most of them agree to a time, like whether it was 24 hours or whatever they did before PvP would start.
Yeah, we decided, I think it was a 24-hour time. I think we started at like 10 p.m. English time and started again the next day. And be honest, the first fight I don't think was about till after the first week, because no one had the resources.
Right.
So we pretty much just started about, but we did have a 24-hour start time.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I think most servers should do that. I think that's good because, you don't want to just spawn camp somebody and instantly be able to, kill them. So.
Yeah, that would have been a problem. But we didn't actually have that problem. We kind of settled things quite peacefully in ways like that.
Yeah, and that's great. Yeah. So yeah, Chris, I think it's about time, man.
It has launched.
Has it launched?
We post a link in the chat.
I was going to check see if it's on the launcher, but obviously I've already got it on mine because of the code. So
we got confirmation that it is on the Curse repo. Might take a minute or two to sync up with everything else on our end, but we're online.
Awesome. Cool. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add, Chris, before we wrap this up?
I think that that about covers it, because I know that a lot of people are going to head off right now to go play.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we figured.
So we'd be talking to an empty room.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we'll see the viewer count go down tremendously in about 5-10 minutes. Cool. One thing just to kind of note is our weekly news post that Chris puts together every week for us will be out later tonight, and that will have a link to this stream. I'm going to put it on YouTube as soon as we're done. I just need to get it processed and uploaded. Within a few hours it'll be there for anybody that wasn't able to catch the stream or somebody that caught the end of the stream. It is just a little bit over an hour. I think we're about an hour and 2 minutes into it now. So it will be available to you guys on YouTube. And that's really about all I have.
I have one more thing I'd like to add before I forget. And that is, I would like to graciously thank all of our beta testers who have played this for about a month and will continue to play future FTB packs, because we couldn't do testing like this on a massive scale and make packs the way we do right now without their incredible amount of input and their time and dedication as well.
Yes, I wanted to back you up on that too. I thank you guys so much for that. And then, big thanks to you for the artwork. We have a lot of people don't realize the Feed the Beast team itself is almost 100 strong. And it's a massive team, and everybody that puts in a lot of work. And it's mainly volunteer work for the most part. So we really, really appreciate all the help that you guys. We wouldn't be able to have mod packs without it. There's no way.
I completely agree. So once again, thank you to everyone, and thank you, T-Fox, for putting this pack together.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Pack.
It sounds like this is going to be a pack that a lot of people play, and a lot of people will enjoy. Yep. So I'm excited to play, which will probably happen right after I get off the stream.
Sounds good. We might have to, you know what? We might have to set up some type of like feed the beast, PvP. We'll get Slowpoke on and get a handful of people, and let's see who the best PvP people are on our team. I probably won't do good, but might be fun in the near future. One thing I will like to say is I am working on a twist on this pack. I'm not going to give many spoilers, but I will say that I am working on a UHC style twist off this pack that I hope to have to you guys in a few months, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh God.
Are we hinting at that now?
We are ending at that. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys don't already, please follow the Feed the Beast official channel. Anything we do, anything like this, it will be on this channel. Also, if you haven't, please go and check out our YouTube. Chris can probably get you guys a link in there for that.
Yep.
And yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much, and we will hopefully see you guys in a few weeks with our next mod pack.